What's good, Josh? Agamakai. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and every subscriber helps. Today we're going to be talking about what I think the Brooklyn Nets should do coming into this upcoming new NBA season. You know, the Nets, they're a real interesting story this season. They signed Kevin Durant to a max deal, signed Kyrie to a max deal. They got DeAndre Jordan, and they really just, got two great, amazing scorers, great players overall, to build, toward the championship roster. They got a lot of interesting young pieces, Caris LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie. They got Jared Allen. They got a lot of guys. They got Taurean Prince. They got Joe Harris. They have a nice, well-rounded team, except when it comes to defense. Because you look at that roster, who's the best perimeter defender they have? Their best perimeter defender is Kevin Durant. And that's, not to say that KD is, some horrible, terrible defender, but he should not be your best perimeter defender. So that's why I think they need to explore some trades. And, a big name being in the trade market this season, and for a couple of years now, is Drew Holiday. Yes, Drew Holiday. Because you got to realize, New Orleans is filled with young guys. They got Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Jackson Hayes. They got a lot of young guys. And, let's say the front office, David Griffin and them, let's say they want to go fully into a rebuild and they want all young guys. Brooklyn has the assets necessary, the young pieces necessary to, really craft a respectable trade offer to New Orleans. They could give up LeVert, Dinwiddie, Allen. They got number 19 pick this year, so they can get that pick up. I don't know if they want to part with both LeVert and Dinwiddie, but I'm pretty sure they're going to, value that when they had Drew Holiday in the future. Because, losing Caris LeVert and losing Spencer Dinwiddie, you're losing scoring, yes, but you're getting one of the best defenders in the NBA at the guard position. All the NBA players, rave about Drew Holiday's defense. And, they're always saying, Drew's one of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA. So it's like, to really shape up that backcourt defense, you're going to want a guy like, Drew Holiday. And another thing they have to, really think about, how healthy and, how normal can Kevin Durant be after coming back from that Achilles injury? Because you got to realize, an Achilles injury is not like, a sprained knee, a sprained ankle, a sprained MCL, a torn ACL. And Achilles really robs you of a lot of explosiveness, a lot of athleticism. And, KD is not really known for being some, high-flying, above-the-rim athlete. He's known for being, a very, very good shooter, very, from all ranges of the court, mid-range, three-point. He can get to the basket at will, great ball handler. He's a, just an anomaly player, 7 feet tall, ball handling skills of a guard, can score with, like anybody. But you got to realize, it's not like he's, 26 coming over his injury. He's in his 30s. So, do I think Kevin Durant is, washed up and going to be done after this Achilles injury? No, I don't believe that one bit. But is he really going to come back as, MVP level player? I think he'll come back as an MVP level player, but it'll, take some time because he took about a year off of basketball, because of the Corona break. Even more time he was scheduled to take off. So I think he's gonna have to get back into NBA, playing condition. But I think as the season, goes on, he's gonna return to form and become, the superstar we've all loved to watch. Another question that the Brooklyn Nets have to answer is Kyrie gonna be able to stay healthy for an entire season and a postseason? Because it seems like Kyrie always gets injured at the worst time. Even this season, he played about 22 games. He got injured when he was on the Celtics the first year. And it just seemed like Kyrie, he's never had like that serious, ACL, MCL, like Achilles. Like, he's never had that serious big injury. It's just a bunch of, little nagging injuries. The shoulder, he had bad stuff in his knee. It's always, these random, knick-knack injuries that are always robbing us of seeing Kyrie Irving play. Now, do I think Kyrie is, injury prone? Yes, I do. Do I think he can remain healthy for an entire regular season? No. I don't think he'll ever be a 70-game player. Maybe not even a 60-game player. Maybe he gets to 52 games, but maybe they try to, load manage him. I know he's not Kawhi Leonard or anything like that, but maybe, the front office realizes, this guy isn't always in the best shape. Not basketball shape, but I'm saying best shape, injury and health-wise. So maybe we, decide to rest him and not play him, all these minutes. Because everything is really about the postseason. Like the regular season is great, for seeding. There's some great games. You get into a rhythm. Going into the postseason. But what's good? What good is it to have a guy in the regular season just to not have him in the postseason? It makes no sense. So that's another question you got to answer. But I think KD and Kyrie are gonna be real good this season. I think they're gonna return to All-Star level, KD MVP level, offensive production. And oh, another thing, Kyrie isn't as bad of a defender as people think he is. And am I saying he's some great two-way, lockdown defender? No, but I have seen him, when he's engaged, when he wants to. That's the thing. It's all about defense. A lot of it is about engagement, the will. You have to want to stop the other guy. And when you're such an amazing offensive talent, you're like, man, I'm just trying to get the ball back. I'm trying to do my thing on offense. So I'm trying to just get through this defensive possession. Maybe I don't put as much effort in so I can have this energy on offense. But Kyrie, when he wants to, he can really engage and not lock somebody down, but he can definitely contain guys. But another question about Kyrie that you have to ask, and everybody knows what's coming. Is he gonna be a locker room cancer again? And do I think Kyrie Irving is some terrible teammate, some just horrible, horrific guy in the locker room? Nah, I don't think that. But it's not like he's the perfect teammate or the perfect guy in the locker room. He's been known to, isolate himself from teammates. I think when he was on the Cavs, they said he went months without speaking to any of his teammates, not a text message, not a phone call. You see what he did in Boston, throwing shots at his younger teammates, talking about, oh, I had to call LeBron James and I had to apologize to him. Being a leader is harder than I thought. It's like, man, if Kyrie can just, keep his focus on basketball, and I'm not saying that's not his main focus, but, he has a tending to, give the media exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for headlines. They're looking for storylines to, cause problems and drama in that locker room, man. As long as Kyrie can just, mind his basketball business. And what I mean by mind his basketball business, you don't have to throw shots at your teammates. You can do that behind closed doors. You don't have to say these outlandish things to the media. And another thing, I think the media really, be dragging what Kyrie said. They be stretching it out. Because recently he said, Kyrie was like, finally I have a guy in KD where, I can pass on the ball, and I think, yeah, he can make that shot. And everybody was acting all crazy, like, oh, Kyrie's taking a shot at LeBron. But I think that's just him, congratulating, him being happy about having such a great shooter and a great teammate in Kevin Durant. And I'm very interested to see what Steve Nash does as the coach for that team. He hired Amari Stoudemire, he hired Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni is one of the best offensive-minded coaches the NBA has ever seen. Say what you want about Mike D'Antoni, he wins games. Everywhere he goes, they win games. I don't care who he wants to, whether it be Phoenix, Houston, LA, the Knicks, they always win games. It's just that he can never just finish the job. He can never go, all the way to the finals and win the championship, as you see with 0 rings on his record. And, what do I think Steve Nash is going to do? I think Steve Nash is the perfect coach for these guys. I think he's going to be able to manage these egos, even though there was a little issue, a little hiccup earlier this year with Kyrie saying, I don't see us as having a head coach. Kyrie is known to say crazy things like that. I don't think he's saying, he's not going to listen to Steve Nash or anything like that. But yeah, that's really my thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets. I think Steve Nash is going to be a great player coach for them. He has a great relationship, with Kevin Durant from their time together in Golden State. And, overall, I just think this Nets season is going to be a very exciting one. But it's also going to be a very long season because their two best players are coming back from such horrific injuries. And, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets this season. If you stayed to the end of this video, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.